Well, a new study found that Americans are worse tippers than they were before the pandemic. So we're talking about servers, delivery people, and rideshare drivers have all seen a decrease in tips. So what is the etiquette around tipping? President and CEO Cathy DeWitt Dunn from DeWitt Dunn Financial Services is here with some tipping tips. Thank you for joining us. So I guess the first question here is, how much less are we tipping and why is that the case?
Well, it just seems like the numbers have dropped. If you really take a look at 73% of people that dine out tip, and that number is down from 2019 because I was at 77%. So I think people have just been really scaling back a little bit because of inflation. But just remember, these servers and people that are taking care of us, they really budget into making sure that they're receiving these tips. And we can do a little bit better with our monthly budget and making sure that we can help them too.
Absolutely. And so what are the do's and don'ts of tipping?
Well, I think the biggest thing is make sure that you're familiar with who you can tip, how much you can tip, and what the guidelines are. And so if you're not really clear about that, you can go to DeWittandDunn.com and you can download our little tipping guide. But I think one of the things is not all industries allow tipping. So that's why I've got some little pointers on that. But what I also find is I personally always carry cash around just in case I want to tip somebody extra because, to reward them for what they're doing. But I think the thing that's really difficult is this is a hard one. You need to still tip even if you've received poor service. These people rely on tips. We've all had bad days. Let's admit it. Let's make sure that we don't ruin that particular server's bad day because we didn't tip appropriately. And you don't necessarily have to always go with the recommended tip because you don't want to feel like you're stretching yourself out of your limits, but make sure that you do take into account budgeting and making sure that we take care of the people in the service industry.
Does carrying cash help?
Oh, well, absolutely. I carry cash often just because that keeps me in line with my budget. So then I know, if someone's done a little something extra, I can tip them. And then that way you're not overextending yourself and you're staying within your limits.
And how much should we actually be tipping people?
That's a great question. And I've had this conversation with my friends a lot. On average, when we're going out to restaurants and dining, we should be tipping between 15 to 20% of the total bill. And baristas and also bartenders should be making on average, depending upon the drink, $2 to $5. And, it's interesting that they're really working hard behind the scenes, especially everybody at Starbucks and all the coffee houses. And delivery drivers, I would say anywhere from 20% to $5, whichever is greater. And one of the things that I think that we all forget about are the housekeepers. Now that we're all back to traveling, you should be tipping them on average $3 to $5 per night. And go ahead and do it each night and leave a little card that money is actually for them. And the staff changes often, and that's really going to make probably a very big difference in their lives. And I think the biggest thing is that let's just make sure that we provide additional income. These people count on this money to pay their bills, just like we need money to pay our bills. And let's reward them because the restaurant industry really took a big hit during the pandemic.
So many important tips that you have there for us and our viewers. So if they have any other questions or if they have, any other concerns as far as how to do better, can you tell me the website that they should go to?
Sure. So if anyone has any questions about tipping or would like to see the actual tipping guides that are now the standard, you could go to DeWittandDunn.com and download our tipping guide, or you could actually send us a text message and we'll be happy to forward that to you because we definitely want to make sure that we make everybody stay a little bit brighter when they are helping and assisting us.
Perfect. Sounds good. We'll also have your tips on our website at fox4news.com.